When Kawhi Leonard partially tore his ACL in the playoffs last year, he straight up lied on national television.
We saw you collide with Joe Ingles there. You seemed like you were in a little bit of pain. You sat not long after that. Any concerns with that right leg? What happened there?
No, I'll be good.
All right, Rebecca, thank you.
All right, a little awkward. Everyone knew he was lying because Kawhi is the most secretive player in the NBA. That's why there's a chance that he could come back before the playoffs. The Clippers just clinched a play-in spot, and this week, Kawhi was spotted at practice before he told everyone to shut their cameras off. Now, I want to show you that actual video, but it's actually not the first sign that Kawhi is coming back. This video will explain all the hints that we've gotten, including from Kawhi's mouth in a secretly filmed conversation. Then I'll tell you what I think the Clippers' chances are if they actually get Kawhi back. Because if he does come back, this could ruin the Suns' chances of finally breaking through and winning a title. But I've heard so many people say, oh, this doesn't mean anything. Kawhi's not coming back. He just had surgery 9 months ago. Just because he's shooting, it's nothing. Jamal Murray has been shooting for months. But they are wrong. I am so confident in saying Kawhi could absolutely come back because of his contract. Before the season, Kawhi could have signed a 1-year contract to get the supermax of $235 million next season. Instead, he signed just 4 years, $176 million. He left $59 million on the table. Why? Kawhi said, quote, because I wanted to play. I wanted to be able to come back if I was able to this year. If I would have taken the 1-1, I probably would not have played just to be cautious and opted out and took the Supermax. Exactly. He has been planning to come back ever since the offseason, and he left $59 million on the table. Kawhi said, if I just signed that 1-year deal, I couldn't play this year and risk injury, but instead he signed the 4 years. So if he's able to play, he's got a clear head. He can just go out there and ball. So yeah, it's a little different than Jamal Murray shooting. Then in January, Chris Haynes reported this.
But there's some good news. League sources have informed me that Kawhi Leonard is actually ahead of schedule in his rehab and that a return this season is a strong possibility. Speaking with multiple Clippers players, they say they won't be concerned with their playoff slotting, believing that if fully healthy, they'll be favorites over most in the West.
Then at All-Star Weekend, Kawhi was named on the top NBA 75 players of all time. Someone recorded him talking to the other legends. Listen closely to what Kawhi says here. I'm feeling a lot better and I'm trying to get back out there. And that was in February. Imagine all the progress he's made since then. Oh wait, you don't actually have to imagine. Check this out. Kawhi was seen warming up before the Warriors game in early March, and Chris Haynes was there. He reported Kawhi looked like he had 0 limitations on that knee. Now, yes, it is true that Ty Lue said, we know Kawhi's probably not coming back, but that's literally the only negative comment we have to go on. And it was like a throwaway comment from Ty Lue just in a press conference. It wasn't like a formal statement. Look, I think at this point, the only people who are saying Kawhi's definitely not coming back are haters who are scared of what the Clippers can do. Paul George has forced his way back even though he's got a torn elbow ligament, and they made a win now trade for Norman Powell and Robert Covington. Rocco just dropped 43 points on the Bucks, and Norm Powell will be back before the playoffs. The Clippers could ruin either the Suns or the Grizzlies season, depending on what seed they get. Then, this video that I've been talking about, okay? And look, it's not like a huge video, but the fact that these clues keep getting closer and closer together as we approach the playoffs is interesting. Reporters saw Kawhi warming up before practice. He turned to everyone and said to shut their cameras off once he started shooting. Reporters still watched him shoot though, and said he made 20 straight free throws in a row before moving to threes and jab step jumpers. He planted with his right and left legs on the jab step, which is a positive sign. After practice, the media asked about Kawhi, and Ty Lue just completely dodged the question.
There's another guy practicing on the court or shooting around.
I don't imagine that you have much to say about that, but
How do you see him?
yeah, all right, that's about it.
So the big question is, how dangerous will the Clippers be if they get Kawhi back? Well, the highest they can realistically get here is the 7th seed. Their most likely opponent, the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs. Even without Kawhi, I think they'd have a great chance to beat the T-Wolves. Karl Anthony Towns would get his points, yes, against Ivica Zubac, but LA has more than enough wing defense to shut down Ant, D'Lo, and Malik Beasley. And if they get the 7th seed, they'd match up with the Grizzlies. And I know, the Grizzlies have probably been the best story in the West this year. Ja Morant's playing like an MVP. Even without him, they've won almost all the games. But even with home court, I am picking the Clippers. Memphis does not have their experience and talent. Ja's the best player in the series, with Kawhi just coming back. But after that, the Clippers have 3 of the next 4 best guys. I rank them: Ja, Kawhi, PG, Triple J, then Norman Powell. It would be a really tough series, yes, but the Grizzlies just are not ready to beat a stacked team. I'm a believer in teams taking steps. The Warriors had to lose several times before breaking through. The Bucks had so many heartbreaking losses, we all remember, before winning the chip. Ja's team is fun and young, and they might be up next, but not if Kawhi and Paul George are out there. But the biggest question, obviously, is can they win the championship? Well, the West is up for grabs. The Lakers are out. The Warriors are injured. The Suns are a huge favorite for a reason. They're like the only legit team. But I think the Clippers' ceiling is the conference finals, even with Kawhi. The Suns have just been too good, and they actually have experience. Even Michael Jordan couldn't get the Bulls to the finals after coming back from baseball. The Bulls were beat by the young Orlando Magic in '95, who then lost the chip to Houston. Look, I could totally be wrong about all of this, obviously, but I am super excited about Kawhi possibly coming back. There's so many signs, and for the most secretive man in the NBA, it's a real possibility. And let's be honest, the West is pretty boring this year. Nothing would spice it up like these rumors actually being true. And maybe my favorite video I've ever dropped on this channel was a true story about Kawhi Leonard. And I used to work in San Antonio. I covered Kawhi right after he won Finals MVP in the finals for the Spurs. And I was really ambitious back then to try to climb the ladder in TV. And so I snuck into a Spurs game one time without my actual TV station knowing about it. And I got caught. I got found out. And I got yelled at on the phone. And I was in the Spurs locker room at the time. And Kawhi Leonard was standing right next to me for the most embarrassing moment that I can remember in a long time. And what happened after that was so insane that I had to make a whole video about it. It's maybe my favorite video on this channel. Check it out.